prayer books are right in front. Oh, you
Or
guys.
if you're in the front row, no, not so much. Yeah. Some of us are holding a siddur in their arms in the form of new life.
Sure.
And everything's transliterated, written out in English characters. But I think the key thing is just to find your own space, whatever it is. There's gratitude, there's questions, there's a need just to sit and be still. Whatever your need, like the point of these prayers is to just give us a space to be together, to be present. And it's certainly not about having perfect Hebrew, but it is about participating. And so, we will ask that, you not be on your phone. The service, as Vlad likes to say, our cantor is only 8 hours long. The point is to, record it and hear. We do so much of other kinds of recording. So we're going to begin with the opening blessings that accompany us each and every morning. On page
76. Page 76. And, if you think about how to, wherever we are on our own spiritual, emotional journey, there's kind of a universal insight into how to deepen our place, wherever that is. And generally, a central place to begin is appreciation for our physical well-being, Every day, you guys encounter people who are struggling with something. We all do. And it's an amazing thing to wake up and say, wow, my eyes are open. And to try to identify so many little tiny things that work. Because it's easy to just take them for granted. Okay. We're going to start in the English blessing on page 76, and we'll add some Hebrew as we turn the page. So page 76. Praise to you,
Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who formed the human body with skill, pathways and openings. It is well known before your throne of glory that if one of them be wrongly opened or closed, it would be impossible to endure and stand before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, who heals all flesh, working wondrously. Baruch atah Adonai, rofeh chol basar, umafli laso. It's actually Hebrew for doctor is rofeh. So I see a number of you out there. 78.
Well, let's just offer this first line in Hebrew. Elohai neshama, dear God, my soul, page 78. My soul, shenatata be, that you gave to me, that you placed inside of me. That soul is tahora. It's pure. Whatever happened yesterday, it doesn't change the essential purity of my soul. And today is a new invitation, a new opportunity to reveal it to myself and to the world, the beauty and purity of our soul. So, Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. Elohai neshama shenatata bi Tehora, Tehorahi. We turn to page 80. In these series of blessings that help us to acquire an attitude of gratitude. It's a nice little phrase to carry with us, an attitude of gratitude. We open with the Hebrew formula, Baruch atah Eloheinu melech haolam, and then go to the English. Follow along and join us with a rousing amen at the end of each blessing.
Or more, if you wish.
Or more, exactly.
The language of all of these blessings is very fancy, but really, if you look along the side of the page, you'll see that they're just about the simple things, that italicized tiny font, for awakening, for vision, for the ability to stretch, all these tiny blessings, and even in some of these blessings are opportunities to enter into partnership with God. So maybe as you're reading through, see what What blessing is speaking to you this morning? The beautiful thing about prayer is every single day it's a little different. There's a new calling for every day.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, and now the English.
Who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who opens the eyes of the blind.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who frees the captive.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who lifts up the fallen.
Amen.
82. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who stretches the earth over the waters.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who strengthens our steps.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who clothes the naked.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who gives strength to the weary.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who removes sleep from the eyes and slumber from the eyelids. 84.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who made me in the image of God.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me free.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me a Jew, or whatever spiritual path I follow.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who girds Israel with strength.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who crowns Israel with splendor.
Amen.
86.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to engage with words of Torah.
Amen.
You can never say a blessing without doing the thing you've said. We've just said a blessing for Torah study. Some of us in this room have done Torah study this morning. Others have not. So for some Torah study on 88. And it's an enumeration of mitzvot that encompass all parts of life. And an incredible thing about being a rabbi or just being in community for a long time is you get to be with people at all different moments. You get to stand with a couple under the chuppah and then, oh my gosh, be with them to celebrate new life and hold a hand at a moment of loss. And it's all tied up into one story. Elu Devarim.
I just want to add one more thing to this, which is that I won't ask, but you can ask each other at lunch. You know, how many of us feel I'm not religious? I'm not asking. How many of us in conversation would say to someone, I'm not religious? Okay, Jared, I wasn't asking, but
don't out yourself.
This text that's 1900 years old, Jared is trying to challenge you. It's challenge all of us in two ways. That one is what it means to be religious as a Jew is not what you wear on your head or don't wear on your head. It's about something much more important and basic. And so the nudge in this Mishnaic text 1,800 years ago is that the odds are, I'm certain, I actually know for a fact, even though I don't even know some of you, that every one of you is religious, and I'm going to prove it. We're going to prove it right here in this text. Okay? Actually, I will ask you after we read this text. These are things that are limitless. Let's offer it together on 88. These are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of this world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study, morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, making peace among people, and the study of Torah encompasses them all. Have we made our case? It's all right. The Holy One is calling. You get the point? I'm pretty certain that every one of us in this room value recognizes the essential, profound value and basic value of each of this list of 10 activities. That's what it means to be religious, by the way. Okay, Jared? So from now on. Okay. Let's turn to page 97. Top of 97. Hashrei Yoshvei Veitecha Od Yalelu Chasela Od Yalelu Chasela Hashrei Yoshvei Veitecha Od Yalelu Chasela Od Yalelu Chasela. Page 98 at the very bottom.
V'anachnu nevarech Yam me'ata v'yad olam. Hallelujah.
100, page 100.
Hallelujah, 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 bekodsho, hallelujah, hallelujah, beki ahuzo, hallelujah, 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 big burotav, hallelujah, hallelujah, kero hogula, hallelujah, 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 beteka shofar, hallelujah, hallelujah, benevel v'chinor, hallelujah, 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 betop umachol, hallelujah, hallelujah, beminim ve'ugav, hallelujah, 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 betzilzelei shama, hallelujah, hallelujah, betzilzelei trua, kol hanshamate haleluya, kol hanshamate haleluya, kol hanshamate haleluya, haleluya, kol hanshamate haleluya, hallelujah.
We rise for the Baruch Hu on page 108.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Amevorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach leolam vaed.
Baruch Adonai Amevorach leolam vaed.
Together at the top of 111. In the beginning, even then, a new light was sown for the righteous, the promise that your light would become the catalyst, first for order, then for hope. Author of language and light, help us to use words as you have, to cast light into dark waters and to draw out justice and truth. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMeorot.
Page 112.
in the middle. How deeply you have loved us, Adonai, together, our God, gracing
gracing
us with surpassing compassion, on account of our forebears whose trust
led you to teach them the laws of life.
be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us, by making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah.
The Hebrew immediately following.
Enenu b'toratecha, v'dabek libeinu b'mitzvotecha, v'yached levaveinu le'ahava ulirat shemecha, v'lo
nevosh v'lo nikalem v'lo nikashel le'olam va'ed ki v'shem kodshecha hagadol v'nora batachnu nagila v'nismecha b'shuatecha Avienu le'shalom me'arba kanfotar tzvetolichenu kom miul artzenu ki el poel yeshuotata Uvanu v'charta v'kerabtanu le'shimcha hagadol sela be'emet le'odot lecha u'yachedcha be'ahava Baruch atah Adonai apocher b'yamo Yisrael be'ahava
Shema
Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. 116.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם
בשבתך
בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם המזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
We turn to 118. As part of the blessings after the Shema, there's this inclusion of a paragraph about the tzitzit, about these fringes. And I remember when our son was little, and he's now grown up and living in Jerusalem, sort of grown up and living in Jerusalem. And I remember telling him about what's the purpose of these? He was into superheroes at the time, and I said, they're gonna give you your superpower. That's why you should wear these, because they let you know what's right and what's wrong. And we live in a scary world, And wouldn't it be great if there was something a little less flimsy than this garment? But it's a superpower. It's a superpower. And when we're in the beautiful Rudin Chapel before every bar or bat mitzvah, hint, hint, and we dress the bar bat mitzvah in their talit. Cantor Vlad says, if you feel nervous, just look down at these and know you're safe. Know you're surrounded by love, that we love you. It's a prayer for our children. It's a prayer for all of us. Let's read in English in the middle of 118. Adonai said to Moses as follows, "Speak to the Israelite people and instruct them to make for themselves fringes on the corners of their garments throughout the ages. Let them attach a cord of blue to the fringe at each corner. That shall be your fringe. Look at it and recall all the commandments of Adonai and observe them, so that you do not follow your heart and your eyes and your lustful urge. Leman tiskeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim leloechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet. Micha Mocha is on page 122.
Yeah, 122. Before we offer the prayer, I just want to connect this prayer to the life that we're living at this moment. We recite this prayer of Micha Mocha, which imagines us. We're reenacting, in essence, every time we recite it, twice a day. We're reenacting this experience of going from Egypt to the journey of freedom. At the end of the prayer, we haven't arrived yet in the land of Israel, and it's an interesting choice by the rabbis to include this prayer twice a day. First of all, we're not in Egypt, right? Or are we? Where are we? You get the question? I don't know. Maybe we are in Egypt, actually. I am certain that our brothers and sisters in Pittsburgh felt like Egypt is very close, tragically. So is the sense of freedom. But every day our liturgy, our prayer is actually reminding us that certainly as Jews and maybe as human beings, but certainly as Jews, Egypt is very close, and our goal and our spiritual and physical effort is meant to get us out of there and help us be in a place of safety and security and a prosperous inner life. A prosperous inner life. Okay.
The Hebrew is not hard.
Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neder b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef eleh, שירה חדשה, שיבחו גאולים לשמך, על שפת הים, יחד כולם הודו וימלכו ואמרו יאללה אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך 123 in the middle. And what is my lifespan? I am like a man gone out of Egypt. The Red Sea parts. I cross on dry land. 2 walls of water on my right and on my left. Pharaoh's army and his horses behind me. Before me the desert, perhaps the promised land too. That is my lifespan. We rise for the Amidah on page 124. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu. Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh Hakol, V'zocher Chaste Avot v'Imahot, U'mevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer, U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah, Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah.
128.
אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
130.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש קדוש קדוש, אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ, כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר, שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, בשבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. We continue on our own, seated or standing as your custom or comfort, and we'll meet up again on page 142. Take you yourself wherever your heart leads you. Shalom bimroma.
142 at the bottom. 142.
Ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru
sounds of silence.
But let's move out of the minor key. We're Jewish, so we'll remain in the minor key, but let's do something. Let's move to the Torah service and life and naming. So, there'll be a number of ways we'll all participate in the service, one of which is just actually following along with the Torah reading. So if you want to pass those out,
okay,
that'd be great. Our ark openers this morning will be Aunt and Uncles Jeff, Randy, and Larry. Our Torah holders will be the ever wonderful Motion girls, at least two of them. Jackie and Elizabeth, and then we'll call the aliyot as we come to them. So let's all rise and turn to page 244. Sorry, Mayor, I shouldn't have given you that task. Maybe you can reassign it.
Okay, actually, yeah, would you? That's has
244. Come on up, our ark openers.
Let's see.
Jeff and Randy and Larry, come on up. And come on up, Jackie
Motion
and Elizabeth.
girls, come up.
Ein kamocha ba'Elohim Adonai, ein kemasecha malchutecha malchut kol olamim umemshaltecha bechol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai oz le'amo yitein, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom, av harachamim heitiv avirtzoncha et Zion, tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, ki b'cha levad batachnu, melech el ram v'nisa Adon olamim, ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, u'devar Adonai b'Yerushalayim.
248.
Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Let's repeat that. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo. Echad Eloheinu
Gadol Adonai iti, uneromema shemo yachdav. So you'll go along the edges of the windows, each of you, and back up the middle. And you can follow Lecha Adonai Hagedula V'Hagedula V'Tiferet V'Hanetzach V'Hahod Ki chol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz
L'chol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz l'chad Hamamlacha v'yamid na'aseh l'chol l'rosh ובהשתחוו בהקודשו
רממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להקודשו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רממו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רממו רממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו
קודשו רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו
להקודשו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. Okay. So it's a beautiful, such an amazing parsha, Chaye Sarah, to have a baby naming for a girl on. There's a lot in here, but it's about affirming life. It's about connections between the generations. It's about brave women who bring the lights. You're teaching after?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, we decided the baby's asleep, so we'll do the naming sooner rather than later. Okay, so for the first Aliyah, we'll be honoring Fern and Mitchell officially next Friday night as they make their move to New Jersey. But it's really incredible to be able to celebrate a couple that has had so many years of how many years members here? 42. You can do an aliyah from the ground too. That's fine. You want to come all the way up? Awesome. Okay. All right. So, Ya'amdu. What are you hearing? Yaakov ben Abraham b'Sifora la'aliyah rishona.
Amen. Vaya'al Lavan uvetuel vayomru me'Adonai yatsa hadavar lo nuchal daber elecha ra'otov hine rivka lefanecha kach valech utei isha לבין אדונך כאשר דיבר אדוני ויהי כאשר שמע עבד אברהם את דבריהם וישתחו ארצה לאדוני ויוצא העבד כלי כסף וכלי זהב ובגדים וייתן לרבקה ומגדנות נתן לאחיה ולאמה ויאכלו וישתו hu anashim asher imo ve'alinu vayakumu vaboker vayomer shalchuni ladoni vayomer achia ve'ima teshev hana'ar itanu yamim o asor achar telech vayomer lehem al te'achru oti badunai hitzliach darki shalchuni ve'elcha lahadoni.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah bemet v'chayei olam. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. So in this, what we're just about to, we can be just where we are. What we're just about to read is Rivka is asked in this parsha, will you go? Will you get up and leave what you've known forever? And she says, I'll go. I'll go to affirm the ties of family. I'll go for a new adventure. I'll go because there's never a moment when we stop becoming. And so in this next chapter, wishing you a chapter of health and love, new adventures and joy. And you can never really escape us, so it's not really a departure. Amen.
Beth-El will always be your home.
Yeah, coming for the end of the anniversary. Awesome. Okay. And now for the second aliyah, all the grandparents of this beautiful baby. So come on up, Grace and Mitchell and Ginny and Glenn. Ya'amtu, and great grandma, of course, the most important. How could I forget? La aliyah shniya. And you'll spot. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Adonai Hamvarach, Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed, Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed, Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch Ata Adonai noten ha'Torah. Amen.
Vayomru nira lana vanish'ala et piha. So they said, okay, let's go find the girl. We've decided she's going to go. Let's actually find out from her. From her mouth. Vayikra'u l'Rivka vayomru aleha hatelchi im ha'ish hazeh. So Rivka, are you going to go with this servant, this person you don't know? Vatomer elech. She said, yep, I'll go. Vayishalchu et Rivka achotam ve'et minikta. And she took with her nurse, very important, ve'et Eved Avraham ve'et anashav. And Abraham's servants and all of his crew. Vayivarchu et Rivka vayomru la. And they blessed Rivka with the blessing actually that is given to every bride when she's veiled. It comes right from this very line. Achotenu at hayi la'alfei revava. So our sister, may you turn into thousands of myriads. Vayirash zareha et shar Sonav. And may you seize the gates of your foes. May those openings, those doors that seem to be places of fear, they'll turn into places of safety and security and love.
Other side, turn it over. Oh, you did. I'm sorry. You're with the program, I know. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan Torah v'chayei olam. Torah, Amen.
So why don't you all sit down, and you'll have another roll in a minute, but we want you to be able to take in the sights from the from the lower level.
All right. Yeah, just take your time. Take your time. There's no rush.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Excellent. The grandparents, they got it down. You guys are good. You guys are good. Okay. So for the third aliyah, Jamie and Jared, come on up with your beautiful girl.
Rivka. Wow.
Come on up.
Ya'amdu Davida Bella Basimcha Raphael La'aliyah Shlishi. That's good. You should wake up for Torah. 1, 2, 3.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Vatakam Rivka v'na'oroteha v'tirkavna ala gamalim v'telachna acharei ha'ish v'yikach ha'eved et Rivka v'yelech v'yitzchak ba'meibo be'er lachai ro'i v'hu yoshev be'eretz hanegev v'yitzei Yitzchak lasuach basadei lifnot arev. Yitzchak was meditating in the field. Vayisa einav vayar, and he raised his eyes and he saw v'hinei gmalim ba'im, and he saw the camels coming. Vatisa Rivka et eineha, and at the same moment Rivka raised her eyes and she saw Vatere et Yitzchak, and she saw Yitzchak. She saw Isaac. Vatipol me'ala gamal, and seeing Yitzchak was so exciting for her, she literally fell off her camel. That's what it says. It's not me. Vatomer ela eved mi'aish halazeh haolech basadeh likratenu. And she said to her servant, "Who is this man coming? Who is this person walking in the field to greet us?" Vayomer ha'eved hu Adoni. And the servant Eliezer said to her, "My master." Vatikach hatzaif vatitkas vayisaper ha'eved leYitzchak et kol advarim asher asa v'yavia Yitzchak ha'ohala Sarah imo. And Yitzchak brought Rivka into his mother's tent. Vayikach et Rivka vatehilo leisha v'yehavea vayinachem Yitzchak acharei imo. This is an amazing line before we leave it, that Yitzchak brings Rivka into the tent. They are together in the tent. This is the only place in the Torah, and he loves her. He loves her, and he is comforted by her after the passing of his mother. Okay.
And so Before the final blessing, we'll see if we can get this beautiful dimpled hand right on the parchment. Any old place is good. Okay, there we go.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Come on, I want both hands to touch. Put your hands. Can you do it? Actually, you can sit here. It's okay. It's okay. All right. Because what's our date?
And so our bat mitzvah date will be May 24th, 2031, 2nd of Sivan, 5791 Parashat Bamidbar.
Okay. May you touch the Torah between now and then. Thank you so much. Be careful.
And just a few words about her name that you chose, and then we'll officially announce it.
Today is a special day for our families as we give our daughter Blake Ashley Marshak her Hebrew name, Hadassah Rivka. Her first name Hadassah is in honor of my grandma. She was a very special woman. She didn't have a particularly easy life as she and my grandfather were both Holocaust survivors. However, this didn't stop her from being one of the most loving, sweet, and giving people that I have ever met. She was the type of person that put those who she cared about first and always lifted the spirits of everyone around her. Family meant everything to her. I believe that her best quality was that she always looked for the good in people, which can be a tough thing to do at times. As my daughter carries her name, I hope that she takes these qualities with her through life.
And Blake's middle name Rivka is given in memory of my great-grandmother Viola. She lived to be 99 and a half and was the coolest great-grandmother around.
Grandma Ola, as we all called her, was incredibly modern and up-to-date, loved to sing in her soprano voice, and had signature auburn hair. She was very independent, young at heart, truly lived life to its fullest, and was not shy or quiet at all. She told it like it was, and she even said that about herself. These are all qualities that we wish for Blake's life.
In a moment, we're going to come down here and raise a talit, a chuppah over you, and grandparents are going to surround and all give you a blessing. Before we do, I want to share a thought or two. First of all, I want to share some words that were spoken under the chuppah. What was the date?
It was September 17th, 2016.
September 17th. I couldn't remember what September date. Okay, so 2 years and several months. So, when this is from Jared. When Jamie and I started dating, I'm just reading a few little highlights, and then he wrote this to Jamie and shared it with me. I love how she takes an interest in the things that are important to me. I love how she makes me smile. I love how Jamie is kind and cares about people. I love that she challenges me and makes me a better person for it. She's been able to get me to do things that nobody else has, such as stop, I'm biting my nails and trying to become more independent. My wife helped me do that, both of those too. I also love how when we argue, she'll stop the argument and say, "Time out," just to give me a hug. I love how I feel when I'm with her. And Jamie wrote to Jared, "Jared is my best friend, my confidant, my biggest fan, the love of my life. He's my protector, and I feel safest in his arms. He's there to listen to me. He's my shoulder to cry on. He's there to give his advice. He's my absolute favorite travel buddy, and I can't wait for more adventures together. He brings out my more playful side. I feel that we can accomplish anything when we are together, as two is better than one. Jared makes me happier than I ever thought I could be and shows me unwavering love." And so let's come down. Let's yes, let grandparents come close. Everyone else rise.
So let's have the couple right here. You're going to stand right
Come
over
over there
here.
into the center. Come this way, guys. Come, sorry, I don't mean to manhandle you. You're going to stand right here.
Flowers. You're all going to face the community. And you guys are going to be in front of the flowers, and we're going to put a. Okay. All right.
You guys go over there. You guys go on that side.
Okay.
So, yeah. Here you go. Take the grandparent job is to hold the talit. This is not the rabbi's job. The grandparent's job. Great. Here, come out so that we're more of a straight line. Good. Come towards me. Come towards me. You guys. You're fun. Keep coming. Okay. I want to say something about Hadassah Rivka, named after each of your grandmother, your grandmother, and your great grandmother. Hadassah comes from Hadass, the myrtle, which is part of the Sukkot holiday. And the myrtle reminds us of our eyes. And it reminds us to have eyes that see beauty and that see goodness and that choose to see only the best. Your job is to keep the talit over your kids' eyes so that they're not blinded by it. And Rivka is actually the mother of our Jewish people. There you go. Awesome. And so may you, dear Hadassah Rivka, be forever, not forever, but just for a few more maybe months or even a year, be comforted by your motzetz. All right, exactly. Okay, so Tara's going to offer a blessing.
This is a beautiful one without a typo. It has her name. And this is a blessing that our community has become familiar with, and it's new every time. Please add your own blessings to this beautiful child and this beautiful family. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless this mother, Jamie, Davida Bella, Bat Frida, Velvel, and this father, Jared, Simcha Raphael, Ben Tova, Mordechai, and their daughter, Blake Ashley. Her name among the people of Israel shall be Hadassah Rivka, Bat Davida Bella, Simcha Raphael. Merciful God, grant that this child will grow to maturity and good health and mind. May she be a sensitive human being and a caring daughter, woman, and mother. May she be spared the ravages of war and violence and the bitterness of hatred and prejudice. May she be a blessing to all who love her, to all the people Israel, and to all of humanity. May she be blessed with long life surrounded by her beloved family. May her parents find wisdom and length of days to raise their daughter to the study and practice of Torah, to deeds of compassion and righteousness, and to witness her achievements of love fulfilled. May she be capable of loving deeply, and may she be loved deeply. And let us say,
Amen.
And our people's most ancient blessing, just for you. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Yaher Adonai panav v'yilecha v'yichuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Mazal tov.
Semen tov and mazel tov
and mazel tov and semen tov, semen tov and mazel tov and mazel tov and semen tov, semen tov and mazel tov and mazel tov and semen tov. Yehelanu, 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 ulechol Yisrael. Yehelanu, yes. Ulechol Yisrael. Yehelanu, yehelanu, ulechol Yisrael. Yehelanu, yehelanu, ulechol Yisrael.
Can you help me with one more thing?
You may be seated. You guys have an endless supply of clean pacifiers. It's amazing. Take notes. That's like serious, man. Okay.
And
Oh, and
wives,
wives.
exactly.
We actually forgot those when we brought our son home from the hospital. It's a bad moment.
That's true. Jared, no doubt, is a much more organized new dad than I was 16 plus years ago. Before we conclude, I want to just offer a few words of Torah and think about one little moment in our parsha. There's a text that's being passed out. If Blake needs to go, it's okay. Whatever, it's fine. This week's parsha, we're not going to do all of this. We'll just do one little part of it. Okay. Do you have it? Abraham, both Sarah and Abraham die in this week's Torah portion. Actually, we talked about this in our Torah study as well, but I want to bring out a different point today. At this moment than I did an hour ago. It says towards the very end of the parsha that Abraham breathed his last breath. Vayigva v'yamot Avraham, he died. B'seva tova, dying at a good age. Zaken, that's the ripe age. V'sava, he was contented. Abraham was contented. V'yasef el amav, and he was gathered to his ken. I want to focus again on this one word, really, v'seva, that Abraham was contented. And why is that word worthy of our focus? First of all, there's no one else in the Torah, when they die, is described, their death is not described this way. He was contented. So that's might be reason enough. In addition, it's not obvious, if we think about Abraham's life, it's not obvious that upon his death he would be contented. Why not? Why might it not be obvious? It's not necessarily the case that we should assume that Abraham was contented at the end of his life. Why? Separated from his son, there were all kinds of trials and tribulations. He had this horrifying moment of so close to sacrificing his son. Many, many trials and tribulations. An hour ago, we answered a very similar question. How could it be? What's the formula for getting to the end of your life and being content? We also talked about how Rose, what's her name? Mallinger, who was the oldest person who died in Pittsburgh, she was described by her family as living life to the fullest. How do you get to that place, living life to the fullest? And actually, we said last night as well that we of course want to feel that way at the end of our lives, but actually we want to feel that way at the end of every week. Shabbat is a time to feel like, okay, I've done everything I needed to do. To feel that way, even though we know there's 1,001 other things that could have been done. There's never a time that there aren't more things to be done. The question is, how do we feel like we're content even when there are other things to do? That's a challenge. And the answer I gave an hour ago was, you get that way by recognizing it's not my job to finish the task, just to begin it. If you boil down what we did in Torah study. It's just my job to begin to move in the direction. Abraham was promised to be the father of great nations, and also he would inherit all the land of Israel. But at the end of his life, he had one Jewish son and no Jewish grandchildren, and all he had was a burial plot. God's covenant, God's promise to Abraham, only a tiny little chelek, a little piece, was beginning to come to fruition for Abraham. So the first teaching is, our job is to start the work, not to finish it. The answer I want us to share with us right now is a different answer. How do you get to the end of your life even when we've had lots of surus, lots of struggles? It's a different answer from that. And I want us to the answer is one that's, as so often is the case, offered by Jonathan Sacks, taught by Jonathan Sacks, the former chief rabbi of Great Britain. And he tells this wonderful story. Follow along with me. It's in the middle of the page. On August 11th, 2017, a year ago, we're on the front page of my text, okay? The world's oldest man passed away, a month short of his 114th birthday, making him one of the 10 longest-lived men since modern record-keeping began. It's kind of, I don't know, funny. Something interesting about it, because, in the first chapters of the Torah, human beings live to be many hundreds of years old. Anyway, this was a year ago, but just over a year ago. If you knew nothing else about this man, you would be justified in thinking that he had led a peaceful life, spared of fear, grief, and danger. You would think that, after all, reaching the age of 114. The actual truth is the opposite. The man in question, his name was Yisrael Crystal, Holocaust survivor. Born in Poland in 1903, he survived 4 years in the Lodz ghetto and was then transported to Auschwitz. In the ghetto, his 2 children died. In Auschwitz, his wife was killed. When Auschwitz was liberated, he was a walking skeleton at 37 kilos. What's that, about 75, 80 pounds? Yeah. He was the only member of his family to survive. Like Abraham, he suffered a lot. Had lots of tsuris in his life. He was raised as a religious Jew, stayed so all his life. When the war was over and his entire world destroyed, he married again to another Holocaust survivor. They had children. They made Aliyah to Haifa. There he began again a confectionery business, as he had done in Poland before the war. He made sweets and chocolate, became an innovator. If you've never had Israeli orange peel covered in chocolate, or liqueur chocolate shaped like bottles covered with silver foil, if you have ever had, you're enjoying one of the products he originated. Have any of us ever had these products? Most of us have, right? Okay, we're now meeting the man who came up with the idea. Thank you to Yisrael, exactly, yes. Okay, those who knew him said he was a man with no bitterness in his soul. He wanted people to taste sweetness. And then fast forward many years, in 2016, the age of 113, he finally celebrated his bar mitzvah. 100 years earlier, this had proved impossible, obviously. By then, his mother was dead. His father was fighting the First World War. With an almost poetic sense of fittingness, Israel died on Erev Shabbat, Parsha Ekev. The Parsha that includes the second paragraph of the Shema with its requirement to wrap tefillin and teach Torah to your children, so that your children may live long in the land that the Lord swore to your ancestors. So he did both. And on his bar mitzvah in 2016, at the age of 113, he joked that he was the oldest tefillin wearer. He gathered his children, grandchildren, and great-children under his talit, and he said this: here's one person, and look how many people he brought to life. As we're all standing here under my talit, I'm thinking 6 million. Imagine the world they could have built. This was an extraordinary man. And his life sheds light on one of the most tantalizing verses in the Torah. Describing the death of Abraham, our Parsha says that he breathed his last and died in good old age, old and satisfied. His is the most serene death in the Torah, yet consider his life, fraught as it was with trial after trial. Okay, so Jonathan Sacks connects Abraham to this incredible human being. And the question is, what is the answer to our question? How do you get to the end of a life that's been fraught with so much trial and struggle and feel completely sovea, content? How do you get there? And this is Jonathan Sacks' answer. That's what Abraham did in this week's Parsha. He received 3 promises from God: children, a land, and the assurance that he would be the father, not of one nation, but of many nations. But at the age of 137, he had one unmarried son, no land, and had fathered no nations. He uttered not a single word of complaint. It seems that he realized that God wanted him to act, not to wait for God to do the work for him. We all know this answer. It's just meaningful to hear it and be taught it again. So when Sarah died, he bought the first plot in what would become the Holy Land, the field and cave of Machpelah in our Parsha. And then he instructed his servant to find a wife for Isaac, which we chanted from the Torah, so that he might live to see the first Jewish grandchildren. And lastly, in his old age, this is at the very end of the parsha, which we didn't get to, he married again and had 6 children, 6 sons, who would eventually become progenitors of many nations. He did not, except briefly, sit and mourn in the past. He did not, except briefly, sit and mourn the past. Instead, he took the first steps toward building the future. And then Jonathan Sacks has this passage where he thinks about David Ben Gurion and all the Jews who built the land of Israel immediately after the Holocaust, right? And here's how Sacks concludes. It was as if the Jewish people had said collectively, in the words of King David, I will not die, but live. In other words, after experiencing trauma and tragedy, I will not die, we will not die, we will live, thereby giving testimony to the God of life. That is why the West's oldest nation is still young, a world leader in life-saving medicine, disaster relief, and life-enhancing technology. And here's the answer to the question, how do you live, survive so much trauma and live feeling and die at a time in a place where you feel like you're content? This is a transformative idea, says Sacks. To survive tragedy and trauma, we first must build the future. That's his answer. In the face of tragedy and trauma, build the future. And only then, after we've begun building the future, remember the past. So I think this relates very much to what we're experiencing today, a week after Pittsburgh. We are building a future, an amazing Jewish future, right, Blake, right, Hadassah, Rivka. And hopefully, I bring this because I think that, this is a time when we're feeling this whole gamut of feelings of the pain and the difficulty and the worry, the angst about what we as Jews experienced this past week. And we are wanting to be surrounded by hope and possibility and faith. And so, dear Hadassah, Rivka, you do that for us. You already are giving us a gift that we desperately need. Okay, Shabbat Shalom. Let's raise the Torah. Michael Weinbaum, can I ask you to come up? Hold on to the text you have because we're going to offer the prayer together before we conclude. But let's all rise on page 2. Hold on a second, Michael. 252.
Asher Sam Moshe Lifnei Bnei Yisrael Al Pi Adonai Biyad Moshe Yalla Yalla La La Yalla La Yalla La Yalla La 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 Yalla La 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 Yalla Yalla La La Yalla La Yalla La Yalla La 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 Yalla La 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 Yalla La Yalla La La Yalla La 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 Yalla La La Yalla La La. Can we have our ark openers up again? That would be wonderful. If you opened the ark before, come on up, aunts and uncle. Come on up for Jeff and Randy and Larry. Awesome. We are on page 256, where we begin with the words Eitz Chaim Hi.
Hold 1 second. Good, excellent.
Eitz Chaim Hi L'machazikim ba V'tomecha Meushar Deracheha Tachenoam V'chanetivoteha Shalom Hashivenu
seated carefully. Come down. Thank you, Gail. Thank you. Yeah, mazel tov. Congrats. Yeah, please. Yeah. So if you turn to just at the bottom of the text that we were working from, a prayer, a passage written by Dr. Ari Berman, president of Yeshiva University, really quite moving. And for those who have the text, the same one we were just reading from, I'd love for anyone who has it to join with me. We were all stunned and grieved when we heard the news yesterday. We stand tonight in mourning of the loss of our brothers and sisters in Pittsburgh. That's all right. And we join in prayer for the full recovery of those in the congregation who were injured. The rabbis teach us that the Jewish people are like one body. And when one side is cut, we are all in pain. This heinous, murderous attack on the Tree of Life synagogue is a reminder that even in this day and age of anti-Semitism still has the power to poison minds. It is a reminder that we do not have the luxury of ignoring this most ancient of hatreds. We must fight it wherever we find it. We must be vigilant. But as we remember our brothers and sisters who were attacked, we also think of the 4 police officers who were wounded, rushing in to save them, and we pray for their speedy recovery. They remind us that this era is different than those that have come before us. Today we have partners and friends. This is powerful. At this time, it is natural to focus on the challenges confronting America today. And there are challenges, and we must be alert and determined in fighting those who rise against us. But we must also be mindful of the blessing that is America, that we have partners like our officials and representatives who are with us tonight. And together we must battle not just the evils of anti-Semitism, but all racism and bigotry as they rear their ugly heads in this generation. And this, in truth, speaks to the broader mission of the Jewish people, to partner with all of humanity, to impact our society, and to better our world. This is an era in which the Jewish mission can truly take root. Let us seize this profound moment of grief to redouble our efforts and join together in our fight against hatred, rebuilding our communities, and transforming the world for the better. May God bless our efforts, heal the injured, and grant comfort to the bereaved.
So before Kaddish, I'll just offer the names of those fallen in Pittsburgh. Joyce Feinberg, Richard Gottfried, Rose Mallinger, Jerry Rabinowitz, Cecile Rosenthal, David Rosenthal, Bernice Simon, Sylvan Simon, Daniel Stein, Melvin Wax, and Irving Younger. We're still in Shloshim in our community for Shirley Cohen and John Mastel and Shirley Burke. And I know it's this unbelievable not coincidence that the 2 great-grandmothers for whom our beautiful latest entry into the covenant are named, their yard sites fall today, or this week, within this week. Amazing. So will you just rise and say their full names, and then anyone else who has named, or you don't have to rise if it's too hard to hold.
Or any part of their name.
Awesome. And are there any other names for Kaddish?
Anyone remembering someone? Anyone else? Why don't we rise as a community? Mourners Kaddish is on 294.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'yimru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudshah brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'miran bi'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlam araba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the one who creates harmony and peace and healing on high bring that to all of us, to all Israel, to our country, and to all humanity. And we say one last time, amen, amen. And so now let's gather around for Kiddush. Everyone can come close, and we'll bring the Kiddush table into the middle. Oh, say shalom, shalom bimromav.
Hu yaseh. Come close. Hu yaseh shalom. Oh, say shalom, shalom bimromav. Hu yaseh
Let's make a
shalom.
Hu yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu. Oh, ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imeru amen. Oh, say
Shalom, shalom bimromav. Hu yaseh shalom.
Let's have a grandparent hold the Kiddush cup high. Okay. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כן ברך אדוני את יום השבת ויקדשהו סברי.
לחיים.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן. Drink up.
Take a drink. Take a drink.
You can pass to anyone who's not germophobic.
You're likely old enough.
Hold up. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. We tear here. We're a little animalistic. Just tear a piece. And we'll pass it around. Anyone who's brave can take a piece.
Shalom bimromav.
Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Yaseh shalom,
Shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Mazel tov and Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Beautiful. Kimmy, yay, exactly.